Hey Retro Tech friends, and welcome to another edition of Dave's Retro Video Lab, the show where we check out old video gear from yesteryear. Today in the lab we have one of those camcorders which was a game changer when it was first introduced back in 1991. Nowadays, camcorder collectors both love and hate what's inside this case, and I will explain why in just a moment. Now I know you are dying to discover what is inside this Canon case, so let me dig in and show you what we've got here. First of all, we have a Canon HC1000 case. These are so cool. They're heavy duty, and oh, I just love them. These are great. So let's open this thing up and see what we've got inside. Holy macaroni. Wow, we've got a lot of little odds and ends inside here, but something here that will identify what is in this case is right here. Some of you have already guessed what it is, but I'm not going to say anything just yet. We'll go through the pile of stuff in the case and then we'll reveal what's in here. But this is a super cool camera, and hopefully it works. So here we go. First of all, we have, what is this, a Canon VL20 video light. I think it uses a battery to power the light. That's pretty cool. Okay. Oh, look at this. I've got a Sony, this is a little LCD monitor. It's an XV-M30 LCD monitor, and it has, I think, the lens hood for it. That's really super cool. We're getting there. We have a microphone. Woo, a microphone, that's great. All right, that alone probably just gave away what's in this case, but let's keep going. Ooh, nice. We have a, this is a Canon VL wide-angle lens. It's a 3:1 lens. I know you guys are all shouting, I know what it is, I know what it is, Dave. All right, calm down, it's okay. This is just the internet, no need for shouting. But I know you're excited because I'm excited. Here we go. All right. I think this little cable here that went, that's used for the Sony LCD. This is the DC coupler. This is a DC 1000 coupler. This is what you attach from the power supply to the camera's handle. I know, guys, you know what this camera is. You're all screaming at it already, the name. And lastly, we have a Canon CA100 AC power supply. This will be key to getting this camera working, of course. And, well, hold on. Oh, there's another little item. We have a Canon remote control. This is model number WL600, a WL600 remote control. And before I get to what's inside here, I know you all can see it, so it's no big surprise. But, well, I'll just pull it out. Here we go. Wow, look at that. This is so cool. This is a Canon L1 High 8 camcorder from 1991 with, I guess, most of its accessories. Interestingly enough, however, there is a compartment up here, and I just wanted to check that out real quick to see what we've got. Oh, wow, look at this. We've got warranty cards. I know some of you may not be so excited about that, but that's kind of cool. There we go. Look at that, the Canon warranty. Of course, I'm sure that warranty expired a long time ago. We have a, oh wow, a breakdown in how you set up the case. That's kind of neat. Oh wow, a quick reference card. Wow, that is really cool. This case, wow, they got so much stuff in here. A guide to camcorder techniques. I know we all could use a guide to camcorder techniques. Yes, I'm a really bad cameraman. I am horrible, and believe me, you don't want to see my handiwork. All right, so we have the instruction manual. This is really key to figuring out how this Canon L1 works. But let's take this camera out and let's see what we've got here. This is a real beauty of a camcorder, and we'll talk about in just a moment why this camcorder was so significant. There are many Canon L1 kits out there for sale, but what makes this Facebook Marketplace purchase so special is it came with a Canon HC1000 case, plus the optional 3:1 wide-angle VL mount lens. These two items are available on eBay, plus all the other items, but buying them all together saved me time from having to source out the case, the lens, and all these other items. And by the way, later in the show, I will fire up this Canon L1 and see if it comes back to life. I have no expectations it will work, and in just a moment I will explain why that is, so stay tuned. Under the hood of this L1 is a half-inch CCD image sensor with 410,000 pixels. The camera outputs a total of 525 lines of resolution, which gets recorded onto high-8 tapes at 400 lines of resolution. The L1 has a piezo precision motor-guided autofocus system along with electronic image stabilization. The L1's audio system provided owners with high-quality AFM audio specs plus a stereo microphone with adjustable sensitivity. Like most camcorders from the early 90s, the L1 offered a series of digital and editing effects, a high-speed shutter, and a flying erase head. Now, if you went back in time to 1991 and purchased a new Canon L1, you would have paid about $2,800 US. Today, with the cost of inflation factored in, a new L1 would set you back about $6,300 US. Let's take a closer look at the L1's control surface to see what type of functionality it offered beyond its amazing interchangeable lens system, which I will cover in just a moment. My initial impression of the Canon L1 is it is just littered with buttons. Canon engineers crammed buttons everywhere on this thing. You have to look all over the L1 to find whatever function you are looking for, which is really kind of annoying. So let's start with the lens and work our way around the camera. So we're going to talk about the button layout for the Canon L1. As I mentioned earlier, it has the VL mount lens system. VL stands for video lens mount system. This is a 15:1 zoom lens, and it has a lot of reach. This is a great piece of glass. Now, as we move on, we have the fade button. This allows you to fade to black when filming. We have the focus controls here. We have auto and manual. We have the shutter button where you can select the different shutter speeds. Here we have the exposure control button, whether you want to select auto or manual. Of course, here we have the exposure control knob. This allows you to open or close the iris. Here we have the lens release. You pull on this and then rotate the lens barrel and take that off. We have the camera mode up here, which is important, whether you want the camera to be fully auto or manual. We have the headphones jack here. Oh, and over here we have the digital effects select button. We have the white balance set. What do we have? Oh, metering. We have, I think where average is out the metering, or there's peak metering. And then in here is your Canon L1 input-output ports. You have your audio. You actually have a LAN-C edit controller input there. That would be really fun to hook this up to. We have our edit button with the S-video input. Plus, we also have our composite and audio and video. Okay, we're going to review the top portion of the camera and the buttons. They are everywhere. They're hidden in little nooks and crannies everywhere on this camera, and you can easily get lost trying to find buttons around the body of the camera. But in this area here, we have the eject switch, we have the headphone level pot, we have the tape return, counter reset, we have the VTR controls right here. Of course, we have the important power button, and then we have the mic level button, whether you want to set it to auto or manual. Over here we have the telephoto and wide angle rocker switch. This is on the hand grip of the camera. This allows you to zoom in or widen out your lens. On this side of the camera we have the hand grip here, where the DC coupler for your power supply would plug into, or your battery. Up here, as we showed you earlier, is your telephoto and wide angle rocker switch. We have our microphone up here, of course, with the microphone input levels. We actually have one knob on top of the other for the left and right input controls. Over here, we have the power and the mic input with a 20 dB attenuator button. And then, of course, the most important button maybe is the record button, is right here on the camera's hand grip. Okay, so you have the back of the camera. Here is your tape door, and quite simply, you have your telephoto wide angle zoom toggle. There's not much else going on in the back of the Canon L1, but if we move over here to this secret door on the rear hand grip, you will find several more Canon L1 functions. Here we have the title date button. Along with that, we have the shift plus and minus buttons, which help you select the characters for the title date generator. Below that, we have the timer. Then we have the line out and in button. This determines whether your audio and video terminals are sending video out of the camera, or you can actually record in the camera from an outside source. This is really great because when using the LANC port, you can then turn your Canon L1 into an edit deck. Alongside the line in button, we have the high 8 on-off switch. This determines whether or not the camera is in high 8 mode or regular 8 video mode. Here we have the lithium-ion battery compartment. As I mentioned before, the L1 has buttons located all over the camera. Here we have the title and date stamp buttons, and just below those buttons are the digital effects on and off buttons. Earlier, I had called the Canon L1 a game changer, and here's why. Canon reinvented the prosumer camcorder and designed a new interchangeable lens system to go with it. They introduced the L1 with a VL mount system. This new interchangeable lens system opened up so many more creative possibilities for L1 owners. Canon offered 3 VL lenses with the launch of the L1. There was a 15:1 zoom lens, a 8:1 zoom lens, plus a 3:1 wide-angle lens. L1 owners could also purchase an optional EF lens mount adapter, which enabled the L1 to use any one of Canon's EF lenses. So we video camera collectors love the Canon L1, but we equally dread owning them as well. Why? Because Canon used really cheap-ass capacitors, about 250 in fact, and they all essentially go bad and need to be replaced. Yep, most likely any Canon L1 you come across at a thrift store, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, or Craigslist will be a dud. I can almost guarantee it. The bad caps can be replaced, but it's a time-consuming process and can be quite costly. So buyer beware. Now it's time to see if this Canon L1 will actually work. I bought it under the pretense that it was as is, so I have no idea if it's dead or not. As I mentioned earlier, I have a feeling it's going to be a dud due to the bad capacitor problem, which typically plagues all L1s. Okay, so I have hooked up the power supply, the video output of the camera to our test monitor. Now all we have to do is simply press the power button and see what happens. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay, I don't know. I think it's not gonna work, but here we go. And I hit the power button, and now I'm gonna hit the A input on the monitor. And let's see what, oh, I am so not surprised. We've got bupkis. I think that's the word right now. It was working there for oh, the picture's coming back. The viewfinder, I don't really see all that much in there right now. It's like a big field of washed out white, whatever. So, well, I don't know. It really seems like it wants to work. But I mean, I think this L1 is a dud. I'm pretty sure of that. Judging by what I see in the viewfinder, yeah, I have kind of given up. The picture comes in and out. I'm sure there's all sorts of bad going on here. Well, okay, we let the camera warm up for a little while. It is still sort of flickering a little bit. Yeah, the image has improved slightly. But overall, you know, the camera section kind of works, but it's definitely going to need to be recapped. You know, it's just a mess, I am sure. So we know the camera section is kind of okay, but now we need to check the VTR section on the camera here. So I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to hit the eject button and we'll see what happens. Oh, I was not prepared for this to actually open. Typically these things are duds. So I have a high 8 tape. It's ready to go. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it takes it in. Maybe it'll eat the tape. Who knows? Let's see what happens. All right. Again, I have no expectations this is gonna work. Here we go. Oh yeah, there's a lot of little funny noises that are going on, but well, yeah. Oh, the eject button or the eject light has come on. Let's see what happens. Well, let me try to record. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's definitely not recording. It's giving me like an error light, like the power light's flashing, and there's an eject icon on the LCD. Let's see if it eats my tape. Oh, hold on. Let me power it back up. Let's see, is it recording? It's actually, well, I think it's recording. No, it's not. The tape's not, the tape is not moving. The camera says it's recording, but nothing is going on with the tape. I don't see, what do you call it? The hubs in the tape moving. Nothing is going on. And I'm getting the eject light. So let's see what happens here. I'm gonna turn this around. Ready? Is it gonna eat my tape? Now it won't even eject the tape. Hold on. Oh, but wait a minute. This is not gonna be good. Oh, hey, look at that. My tape actually made it out alive. Well, okay, you can't win them all. This definitely needs a major servicing. I mean, well, I'm somewhat surprised that this particular Canon kind of works, but it definitely needs to be recapped for sure. Plus, there's a whole lot of bad going on with the tape mechanism for sure. I guess Dr. Smart, my fix-it guy, will definitely be getting a text from me shortly. I know he dreads fixing these, but in the end, I think it's a very cool camcorder, certainly worth bringing back to life. With its interchangeable lens system and small form factor, the Canon L1 packed quite a punch for those users who needed a camcorder that went above and beyond the average memory maker. Well, that wraps up another edition of Dave's Retro Video Lab. Take care, everyone, and thanks for watching.
And that's a wrap.
Hey, I thought that went really well.